I was sitting in my apartment after a 12-hour day. I had just wrapped up a project that took me 3 months. I had built the entire training program from scratch, documented every process, aligned every stakeholder, delivered ahead of schedule, all of that. Sent it over, and all I got back was a great job, smiley emoji. And I thought to myself, is this what I just spent so much time to get? Was this the reward? And it was one of those things like, is this your king? Is this your life? And I had done everything right. I'd built the thing, I had been visible, I'd worked hard, I had followed the playbook, and I was exhausted and empty and no closer to the career I actually wanted. And that's when I realized the advice I'd been following my whole career was broken. Build your brand, build your network, build your skills, build, build, build. And I had built, God, I had built. I worked for a ton of nonprofits. I worked for local government where I built out the systems. I worked for startups. I worked for tech. And I realized that I was building other people's houses. So today I want to talk about a different approach, one that saved my career, especially after different rifts and layoffs, and probably my sanity, and one that most people will never try because it feels too slow, too uncertain, too out of control. But this strategy is what has allowed me to bounce back after layoffs. It's what's going to carry me and those who follow it through this changing work landscape. Because let's be honest, the ground is shifting. AI is reshaping entire industries. Roles that felt secure 5 years ago are disappearing. The old playbook, work hard, stay visible, climb the ladder, doesn't work. Honestly, don't even know if our generation had a ladder. It feels like a stairmaster. The ladder keeps moving. So what does work? I stopped building and I started planting. So let's talk about the lie first, because I think you've heard it too. The lie sounds like this: work hard and you get ahead. Stay visible, make sure people know what you're doing, build relationships, ship fast, show your results, be indispensable. And all of that on some level is really good advice and you should do that. But it's incomplete and it's exhausting, and it to some point has a ceiling on expiration date, because when you operate in build mode your whole career, you optimize for speed, you chase the quick win, you become obsessed with visible output, the stuff that looks good in a performance review or on LinkedIn. And you neglect the slow stuff, the stuff that doesn't show up on a spreadsheet, the relationship you could have deepened but you didn't have time for, the skill you wanted to develop but couldn't justify, the creative project that excited you but had no immediate ROI. So I traded depth for speed. And then one day I woke up and I realized I've built a lot. And how much do I have to show for that? I've been laid off. I've been restructured. I've watched entire teams get dissolved overnight. And I also see the anxiety everyone is walking with and holding with of, will I be next? No matter how stable the economy is or the company is, so it feels that way, right? When all this anxiety and dissolving is happening, that building that you built, I built, can be gone instantly. The process you documented, the new leadership doesn't care, new direction, the relationships you strategically built, if they were transactional, they disappeared, and therefore they're not useful. The skills that you developed for a specific job, obsolete. And that is the challenge with building. It's fast, but it's fragile, and fragile doesn't survive what's coming. So here's where the trees come in. The other day, I was driving past this gorgeous piece of land, and I caught myself thinking I would love to buy that property and build some trees. And I was like, wait, did I just say build some trees? And then I stopped, because you don't build trees, you plant trees. But I said build because that's how I've been conditioned to think. I'm a city girl. I think in terms of construction, assembly, speed, output. And I realized that's exactly the problem with how most of us approach our careers. We're trying to build things that need to be planted. Think about it. When you build something, you control the timeline, you have a blueprint, you decide the materials, you can measure progress by the hour. And when it's done, When you plant something, you control almost nothing. You put a seed in the ground and then you wait. You water it, you tend it, you protect it, but you can't force it to grow faster. You can't skip seasons. You're working with forces bigger than yourself: the soil, the sun, the rain, time. And here's the uncomfortable part. When you plan something, you don't see the results right away. Sometimes you don't see the results for years, and that's for so many different reasons and signs. So when we live in a space that results need to be super quick and we celebrate quick wins, the overnight success, the viral moment, planting feels like a failure because it feels like you haven't done enough or you're not moving quickly enough. But that's not true. It's the only thing that actually lasts. It's the only thing that survives when the landscape changes. In the seasons that I planted rather than building, what that gave me was, because I didn't figure this out from a book, I figured it out by getting knocked down and noticing what helped me get back up. When I was still in social work, years before I ever got into tech, I started having coffee with someone I met at a conference. No agenda, no strategic networking. I just liked talking to her. We'd met, I think, once a month, maybe, sometimes less, for 2 years. That relationship didn't pay off in that moment. It wasn't on my performance review. Nobody was tracking it. But then when I decided I wanted to pivot into operations and I had no direct experience, no obvious path, that person, the one I've been having coffee with for 2 years, she's the one that made the introduction. One introduction that led to my first operations role, which led to customer success, which led to training, which led to where I am now. In those coffee chats, I wasn't building, but I was planting. Or take my content. When I first started writing online, nobody was reading. I would argue no one is still reading. But I will say I went from single digits views for months and it felt pointless, but I kept going. And I'm still going, and I have a few more views now. I'm doing this YouTube and it's the same thing. Actually, this video, if I'm being very honest, is a bit stressful to record because I'm at my grandmother's house. There are peacocks yelling all around me. The rain just started pouring. It's a lot, but I'm planting this YouTube seed. I am planting the writing seed, so I'm going to continue. And I know it's gonna pay off. And one day I'm gonna come back to this video. I'm gonna say, hey, my dedication, my planting, my sowing, that's what helped us grow. That's what helped it keep growing. And it's going to keep growing from seeds that I planted, that I tended to. And it's gonna get me through however the economy moves and shifts. Not the buildings I've constructed, those can go, just like it's pouring rain right now and things are moving and swaying. Man-made things are less sturdy than nature. That's why I want to keep planting. Because the things I've planted, the relationships, the skills, the ideas, the work, the media, I know that those will grow roots and those will catch me. So let me give you the actual difference, because I want you to be able to use this. I'm gonna bring this closer because the rain is raining. I wanna make sure you hear me. I want you to be able to use this, especially now when everything feels uncertain. Building is about speed, planting is about seasons. When you're building, you ask, how fast can I get there? How quickly can I show results? When you're planting, you ask, what can I start today that will be growing in 5 years, no matter what happens to my industry, my company, or my role? Different questions, completely different careers. Building is about control. Planting is about surrender. I am surrendering to the day because today's been a day. When you're building, you try to control every variable, the timeline, the outcome, the perception. When you're planting, you surrender the illusion that you can control everything. You do the work and then you let go. You trust the process. And now this is hard for high achievers to really grasp. I know this, it was hard for me, it is hard for me, but it's also freeing because when you stop white knuckling every outcome, you have energy for the things that actually matter. Building is about output. Planting is about legacy. Buildings crumble. I've watched it happen. Companies restructure, industries shift. The thing you build becomes irrelevant. But trees outlive you. They create ecosystems. When you cut down a tree that's been around for a long time, people talk about it because it's like, what are you doing? That tree left to its own devices would have kept surviving, thriving. Trees provide shade for people you never meet. So that's a blessing in itself. When you plant in your career, when you invest in relationships without an agenda, when you develop skills because you're curious, when you create things nobody's asking for yet, you're creating something that will keep going long after this job ends, this title goes away, long after the season passes, long after the landscape looks completely different than it does today. That's not just career advice, that's how you become untouchable. So my voice is getting louder as this rain comes down harder. But the trees, the nature around me is super sturdy. And here's my question for you. What are you planting? What are you building? What relationships are you investing in right now? Not because it's strategic, but because it matters to you. What skill are you developing on your own time? Not because it's on your job description or your progress review, but because you're curious about where things are going. What seed are you putting in the ground for a version of yourself that does not exist yet, but will be ready whatever comes next? I'll tell you what I've learned from coaching people through career pivots, through layoffs, through moments where the ground shifted under their feet. Most people have already planted more than they realize, and that is such a blessing. It's just that the garden blooming in the way that you thought, because we're so busy building, so focused on urgent, the visible, the measurable, it's sometimes easy to lose sight of what's growing beneath the surface. And my job is to help you see it. And if that's where you are right now, if you're tired of building things that don't last, if you're wondering what's going to carry you through this next season, that's exactly what I support my clients with in our priority calls. One conversation, 45 minutes, we map out the seeds you've already planted, the ones worth testing and the ones that are ready to become something bigger. Because you don't need another strategy, you need to see what's already there. The link's in the description, come plant with me. And if this resonated, subscribe. I'm going to keep putting these ideas into the ground, and I think you want to watch what grows. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Go plant something.
Blooper, Peacock Gate.
And that's when I realized that the advice I'd been following my whole career was broken. The build your brand, build your network, build your skills, build. And I had built so much. I was the third person hired at a startup. When I worked for government, I built out the systems there to make it easier. When I worked for nonprofits, I was building systems. I'm always building, but I was building other people's houses, and there was no security for me, right? And this came to a pinnacle when I was laid off. I was like, oh, so I just built all this stuff for everyone else, and you're just able to say goodbye on a Zoom meeting. But also, similarly, when I left other jobs, it's this peacock is like grilling my can, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So if I end this video abruptly, you know why. I'm in Ghana, my grandmother's house, and she has a ton of peacocks. Um, so I'm a little nervous, y'all. But anyway, let me hurry up because also I'm losing the light. I might not upload this video because I'm uncomfortable and I don't know if it's gonna do something to me.